where we at in the world now, nigga. Everybody trying to hustle. Everybody trying to sue somebody for money. Shit. Even Lizzo people fucked me up. You know what happened to Lizzo? Lizzo Camp is complaining that she forced them to go to a sex club and eat bananas out of pussies, and they complaining. And I'm like, shit, that's a dope ass boss right there. Most boss bring dry, hard ass donuts to work and make you eat them shits in their face. And you gotta be like, yeah, this good. Bananas out of pussies, that's what you wanna do. That's something exciting that you go home and be like, baby, how was work? Man, you ain't gonna believe this shit. Now, I didn't wanna do it, but I'm trying to move up in the company. And I'm a little sore, I need some potassium, so nigga, I ate some bananas today. Nigga don't tell the whole story. Yeah, I ate a few bananas today. My thing is, how the fuck somebody that played the flute force you to do anything? Is that where we at as a society? What happened to bullying? This is what happened when you strip bullying out of schools and shit. You got niggas with flute forcing you to do some shit. She probably beating them niggas' ass with that flute. Eat that banana, foot, bow. Cause the flute make noise when you swing it. She's foot, 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 foot. Calling out notes and C sharp, bow. Eat that banana, motherfucker. How you get that gangster as a flute player? You know what I mean? First off, she's the famous black flute player in the world. You don't know what the fuck she went to become a flute player of that status. I ain't never heard that shit before. Maybe she had to eat bananas out of pussies when she was in band camp. You know how crazy them motherfuckers get in band camp. They probably made her goddamn play the motherfucking flute with her labias, the Star Spangled Banner. Thank you, Lizzo. What if she play the flute that good though? That makes you, like, you don't want to eat the pussy, but she play it that good. It's like a snake charm or some shit. She like, and you get up like, no, Lizzo, no. No, Lizzo, stop. Banana face. I'm gonna tell you why I'm drawn to the story. How the fuck you put a banana in the pussy in the first place, ladies? It always get quiet. Ladies, I know one of you done it statistically. One of you motherfuckers done put the banana in the pussy before. How the fuck you put a soggy ass banana in your pussy? I can't even put a limp dick in the pussy without using my thumb as a crutch. And goddamn leaning my dick on the thumb, you know what I'm saying? Don't look away from me, Naomi Campbell. You wrap your dick around the thumb, you like a bacon wrapped hot dog, and you throw that shit in there. How the fuck you put a squishy ass banana? Do you use the peel? Do you put it in there with the peel and then peel it open? Then they bite it, and then you like Kegel squeeze that shit like Popeye spinach? I'm gonna take the second bite, or do you break it up and put it in there like nickels in a slot machine in Vegas? Then when you tickle the tank, the shit pop up. You're like, bing, bing, bing. You're like, why you staring at me like this, man? What the fuck? You didn't know niggas talk like this in real life? You like, yes, I did.